Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining in for today's campfire session. So, the topic for today is scheduler. So, I'm your host Pradnya. I help and support in Australia and APAC region. So, I have been with Africa for more than 2 years now, and in the Salesforce ecosystem for more than 3 years. Okay. Right. So, this is the agenda for today's session. So, today we'll take a quick look at what the scheduler is and how it helps with planning resources, and also learn the different ways to view resource projects and actions in the scheduler. We'll also see how to group resources, projects, or tasks for better organization. We'll also see how to change the timeline to daily, weekly, or monthly for easier planning. We'll also see how to apply filters and configure settings, and learn how to enable polling and pagination. So let's jump on to the demo now. All right, so let's first see where to access the scheduler from. So you can access the scheduler from the management pad under the mission control console. So you just simply click on the view scheduler in the scheduler section, and it will open up a standalone scheduler for you. Okay, and then with the scheduler anywhere feature, you can just add the scheduler visual force component on individual projects or accounts or opportunity. So this will only give you information of the resources that's been assigned to that particular project or account or opportunity. Or you can just simply click on the scheduler tab, and it will open up a standalone scheduler for you. All right, so let's dig into understand more about scheduler and how to use it. So here we have two tabs, timeline and month. So first we'll talk about timeline. So the timeline, with the timeline tab, you can control the view, group by, and scale values. So with the view option, you can choose to display the type of information that you would like to view within the timeline. Right, so first is financials. So the financial view, it breaks down the hours schedule value billable for all the actions on the timeline. So the shading shows the hours shading breakpoint percentage. So which we'll see how to set in the scheduler settings shortly. Next is the hours detail. So with the hours details, you can see like hours assigned to each role, which is split into billable, non-billable, Salesforce events, and holidays. So it only works with the role group by and days, weeks, or month scale. Next is the hours total. Now this will give a summary of the hours scheduled per role. Now similar to hours detail, it works only with role group by and days, weeks, or month scale. Next we have actions. Now this view shows individual bars for each action assigned to the action owner or contributor. Now it's the only view where you can edit the records directly. Okay, so here you can reschedule, edit, or add the records. Now to reschedule the record, you can just simply drag and drop the actions to a different date. So if I want to reschedule it to a day later, so I just simply drag it. Or if I want to reassign this particular action from Alana to Colin, so I can just simply drag and drop it to Colin. Right. So similarly, if I want to edit any of the records, I just have to double click on the record, and it will open up the action summary component. So that will give you access to the action detail page, its related checklist items, and if in case there are any user stories, then there will be a like user story tab as well, and you can also access chatter. Now to edit the record, you just have to click on the pencil icon here. Similarly, to edit any of the holidays, you just double click on it and make all the necessary changes and click save. Now to add an action or a holiday, so you just have to simply drag your mouse across the days, and once it is done, you just select the type of the record you wish to create, like action or holidays. And once it is selected, click next, fill in all the relevant information, and then click save. So once a record has been created, it will be displayed on the scheduler. Okay, so then we have when you hover over any of the action records, it will display its related content like action name, project status. You're also able to replace these default values, which can be done from the action field set, which is scheduler hover. Okay, so let's move on to projects. Now with project, it gives a high level summary of the scheduled work. Now all the actions in the same project on the same or consecutive days, they are all grouped into a single bar. Now you can also replace the project tab hover content. That can be done through the project field set, uh, which is called as project scheduler hover. Okay, next is group by. Now the group by option, it allows you to determine like how the rows are organized. Now with the role, this option shows like each role in alphabetical order by their first name. Master team. Now this one also sorts roles by first name, but it groups them under their master teams. Now here we have the collapse and expand buttons. Next we have scale. Now the scale option lets you set the timeline view to different increments, including hours, days, weeks, and months. So the hour scale is only available with actions view. Okay, so next is the date navigation. Now, when you click on the calendar view, you can select a specific date to quickly jump to. Now, here we have the big arrows. Now, the big arrows lets you move back and forward by 7 days. And the small arrows, they let you move back and forward by 1 day. And when you click on today's button, you can just simply jump to today's date. Then we have the utilization figures here. Now, they are only available on the timeline view, and it lets you see like how each role is allocated and utilized. Now, the scheduled allocation, it shows the total effort for all the actions in the timeline. The scheduled utilization, it calculates the percentage of that effort against the role standard hours per week. Then we have the remaining allocation, and that will show how much effort is still left now, including any overdue actions that haven't been completed. So it's basically the total contribution minus what's already done. Now then we have remaining utilization. It that basically shows the percentage of remaining effort compared to the role's hours per week. Now you can also access the role profile and the role chatter. Let's click on the role profile. Now the role profile gives you access to the teams and skills this role is associated with. Now within either of the teams or skills tab, you can view, edit, add to their profile. Then role chatter. So this will help you to post like to the chatter feed to that individual role. Now there is also an option for role search, which is on the top right of the scheduler. So this will basically help you to perform like a quick search or a filter based on the role name. So for example, if I want to search for my name, so I just quickly add in my name and click enter. So it will just filter out my name. Filter out to show just my name. Okay. Hey, so let's move on to settings now. So under settings, we have the hours view visible days. Now this slider lets you choose like how many days to display in the hours view. Now the maximum you can select is 7 days. Now next we have the days view visible weeks. Now this slider sets how many weeks are visible in the days view with a maximum of 12 weeks. Weeks view visible weeks. Now this will determine how many weeks are shown in the weeks view up to 52 weeks. Next we have the months view visible months. Now this slider determines how many months are shown in the months view up to 12 months. Display hours. Now from the from and to field, it allows you to define like which hours are visible on the timeline when using the hours view. Now if you for example, like if you only want to view records between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., so you can just set that time range here. Show task, show events. Now, if you want Salesforce task or events to appear in the scheduler, you can just toggle these options on. Next, we have the hours shading green breakpoint percentage. Now, this sets the green shading in the hours total view. So, if the total hours scheduled for a role are at or below this percentage, the cell will show green. Hours shading red breakpoint percentage. Now, this sets the red shading. Now, if the total hours for a role are at or above this percentage, the cell will turn red. Next is the display job title. Now this checkbox allows you to toggle the visibility of the job title, which appears alongside the role name here. Display scheduled hours display scheduled hours or utilization, display remaining hours or utilization. So if you don't want to see roles scheduled or remaining allocation and utilization, you can just toggle these options off. Show collapsible sections. So if it's turned off, the collapse and expand buttons and the collapsible row headers won't be visible. Show section as summary. So the section as summary can be seen in the actions view. So I'll just quickly show you how it looks like. So this is the action as summary. Okay. So you can display the action as summary for each cells on the timeline. So the summary is color coded based on the as shading green and red breakpoint settings. Okay. All right, so just so if in case you want to use this particular section as summary, you need to ensure that the show collapsible sections is turned on as well. Next, we have the as source. Okay, so you're able to select the source of the as that will be used on the scheduler. So by default, it uses the total as schedule, but there are other options too, like total hours remaining, projected hours remaining, or total projected hours. Now the selected option will be used across all the views within the scheduler. Next we have the holiday source. So here you can choose whether to show all the holidays or just approved ones. If nothing is selected, it will default to showing only approved holidays. Now if we choose to show all, approved holidays will appear in red and the others will show in amber. Color reference. Now this setting lets you choose where the colors for actions come from. Now by default it uses the project's color field, but you can just switch it to use the Gantt chart status colors from the control pad instead. Next we have the action bar text and the project bar text. Now by default the action bar it shows action name and project name, and the project bar shows project name. So you can just replace these with any of the field from the action or project, including any formula fields. So this is about settings. So let's move on to filters now. Now you can filter based on a combination like of the following records or fields like programs, projects, project status, skills, teams, roles, status. Okay. So you can create like and save multiple filters, and you can also share it with your other users or teams. I'll just quickly show you how to create a team. So you just have to click on create and just name the filter. I'll just name it as roles because I want to see few roles, filter it by roles. So you have an option to make it available to all the users or available to specific teams. So I want to share it with all the users. So I'll just check this box. And I will only like to see records for Alana and Chris. All right, so once that's done, click filter. All right, so that is how you create the filter. And once a filter has been created and applied, the filter icon will show as green. Okay, and if in case you want to clear the filter, you just need to click on the clear button here. So under filters, there is also an option for display roles. So here you have an option to select to display all the roles or only roles that are assigned as action owners or contributors on the scheduler. Now this option is only available for standalone schedulers. And you're also able to export the scheduler view as a PDF just by clicking this PDF icon here. So when you click on it, you will just need to specify the file name. Header text and footer text are optional. So once that's done, click export. Let's move on to the month tab. So with the month tab, you're basically able to see a full month calendar view with all the actions across the projects. Now, if you filter by a specific role, like if I just want to see Chris's record and go to the month's view, so it will show me all the details related Chris's record for that particular month, including the holidays. Is Alright, so next is polling and pagination. So for customers like with lots of data, the polling and pagination settings, it help keep the scheduler running smoothly. And this can be found under scheduler settings in the control pad. Right, so with polling, it loads data in batches based on the polling batch quantity that's set here. Now, this will prevent hitting Salesforce governor limits when there's a lot of data. So to enable polling, you just have to check this box and set a batch quantity. Now with pagination, it breaks the scheduler into pages, showing a set number of roles per page based on the pagination role quantity. Now when the pagination is on, you'll see page navigation at the top right of the scheduler. Again, to on the pagination, you just need to check this box and set a role quantity here. Next, we have display holiday information. So by default, a holiday will show you information like the holiday name, then the approval status, days taken, and hours taken. However, if you do not want to show all the information, you can just choose to display holiday generic description. So whatever, when you choose this option, you can just specify the information that you would like to be displayed, like resource unavailable, and instead of the whole holiday information, that is what will be displayed. Okay, next we have display no information. So if you pick to display no information, so it will display no information on the holiday record. So it will only show like role is not available. Next we have tab and model access. So from individual role record, you can control which tab to be displayed should be displayed for any of the roles. Okay, so if in case you want any of the roles to not have the Ask Detail tab access, so you can just simply uncheck this for particular field. Now, similarly, if you're also able to set the default tab within the action summary model. So for example, if the user will prefer the chatter tab to load by default, now this can be controlled through scheduler action default tab field. Okay. And there is also a list view called as role permissions scheduler. So with this list view, you can just update all the roles in bulk. Right, so that is it from me. You can get in touch with us through various ways, like you can submit a support ticket, or there are a lot of resources available online on our website, like user guide, training videos, knowledge base articles. You can also refer to them. All right. Thank you for joining me today, guys, and hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks. Bye.